Hey guys, welcome back to the Calibrate Tools and DIY channel. How's everybody doing today? Come on in the chat, say hi, say what's going, ask me what's going on. There's a lot been going on in my life. I don't know about yours, but I'm glad you guys can make it tonight. And for everybody in the replay, welcome, welcome. Come on in, say hi, and we're gonna dive right into this. By the way, guys, this episode once again is sponsored by Calibrate.com. Okay, go check out Calibrate.com. Got some great products for you. We're always trying to expand the product line to bring some great new offerings for you. And it's a great way to support the channel, guys. Great way to support the channel. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to dive right into it. Artificial intelligence. Can somebody tell me in the chat, what is artificial intelligence? Can somebody tell me what artificial intelligence is? And will it take your job? You see that guy behind me? He's coming to take your job, man. If you're not prepared, you're going to be out of here. I know you guys probably seen The Matrix, and they probably have some movies similar to that, but it's not that far from the truth. I'm tell you right now, it's not that far from the truth, especially with all the advancements in technology today, artificial intelligence being one of them. If you're using Google, guess what? That's artificial intelligence. What other forms of artificial intelligence can you think of? I just mentioned one, Google, right? Algorithms, you get on YouTube and you're searching for stuff. That's artificial intelligence finding the results for you, right? Machine learning, all that stuff is considered artificial intelligence. So it's not like it's coming down the pike. It's already here. It's just a matter of how ubiquitous it may become, right? And when it starts taking jobs and all this other stuff, that's a very real reality, right? That's right around the corner. It's happening in some sectors already. Okay, especially with what happened with the pandemic, as they say, that was like an impetus for the world, especially these big companies, to think about other ways of replacing human beings so that bottom line won't get hurt. And artificial intelligence is one of them. Okay, so it's here already. No, so you might as well just understand that it is here. And then what are you going to do about preparing yourself for the next 50 years? Or what are your kids going to do? Okay, what are your grandkids going to do? What kind of world are they going to be living in with this stuff looming on the horizon? Okay, remember when the internet back in 2000, the internet was just coming on the scene? Before that, everybody was just living their life. It's always some technological advancement that just it may take time, it may have a few bugs to fix, but eventually it takes over, right? It takes over, and that's what happened with the internet. So this is just another instance where that's on the horizon. Okay, so can somebody tell me what artificial intelligence is defined as? Well, let's define it. Let's define artificial intelligence. Okay, let's get a technical definition. Artificial intelligence is demonstrated by machines as opposed to intelligence of humans and other animals. Okay, that's basically saying that machines are doing the thinking for you. Now, of course, machines don't have souls, right, or spirits or anything like that. If you believe in that stuff, maybe they do. I don't know. I've seen a few movies where it seems like they do, but they are masters. Okay, they are masters of formal or mechanical reasoning. I mean, just look at the personal computer, right? Just look at a calculator, just a simple calculator, right? That can generate results in a matter of seconds, right? Computate complex math formulas or equations in a matter of seconds, and they have different types of calculators out there. They got a simple kind, they got the scientific calculator, all that's computers, right? And that's a form of artificial intelligence. Formal reasoning, mechanical reasoning, 0 to 1, 0 and ones, all that stuff. Machines dwarf human beings in that sense, right? It doesn't have to deal with emotions or anything like that, or confusion or bad days, sick days. And that's one of the reasons why in the marketplace, artificial intelligence is looking like a pretty good option for a lot of companies, right? To get into, to make that initial investment. It may cost a lot, but in the long run, they're going to save so much money. Imagine replacing, I should say, 500,000 employees with robots or, computers or machines or something like that. I've seen it happen already, even in the trucking industry. I'm telling you, it's out there. Uh, Very good life notes. How you doing? You adapt to technology and look for the support work to technology, but humans made the machines. Absolutely, Paragirl. But like I said, even in the trucking industry, I've seen it, or I should say the shipping industry. They do have trucks now, that big rigs that actually are driverless trucks, driverless cars. All that stuff is a form of artificial intelligence. Um, I used to pull a lot of containers out of the ports, the port, on here on the West Coast, and they have robots. Okay, robots carrying these containers full of freight around the terminal. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. So I mean, it's here already, and it's just gonna get I don't want to say it's gonna get worse, because it depends on how you look at it. It's gonna get better. I don't know. It depends on where you are in the whole scheme of things, and that's the point of this video or this live. Where are you going to be in the whole scheme of things when this stuff comes down the pike heavily? Because there's certain things you can't control. You can't control if your company says, "Hey, we got to lay you guys off. We're going to replace you with robots." You have no control over that. But what you do have control over is um, your skill set. Okay, you always have time to upgrade your skill set and be able to position yourself in a more favorable position when this stuff comes down the pike. Think about it. If you're on a football field, excuse me, got a motorcycle riding by a window. Sorry about that, guy. You're on a football field. A wide receiver has to position. It doesn't matter who. It could be a wide receiver, a linebacker, fullback, whatever. They have to position themselves in the correct place on the field in order to maximize their position, right? So if a wide receiver is fast enough, he can position himself over there to catch the ball and then go make the touchdown or whatever. Well, it's the same thing in life. That's a great analogy for life, right? If you don't position yourself in the right place and you know certain things are coming down the pike, right? You see the writing on the wall and you don't do anything about it. Well, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that when you find yourself in an unfavorable position, right? Especially if you're of age and you have the ability. It's one thing if you're a child and there's certain limitations, only so much you can do. But if you're of age and you have the ability to make the right choices, sacrifice maybe for a few years to learn something, and then end up on the right side of history later because you position yourself right. It's all about making an investment. Some people invest in the stock market. Well, the best place to invest in is yourself. Okay, that's the best place. It's better than the stock market. It's better than all this other stuff. Because when you invest in yourself, there's no limit. There's no limit. Okay, so artificial intelligence is everywhere. Well, it's going to be everywhere, right? It's here now. Every time, like I said, you get on your computer and you Google something, you search something up. These algorithms are a form of artificial intelligence, and that's why they spit out. They follow you around the internet, and you wonder why. Why is that ad showing up everywhere I go on the internet? Because it follows you around. You have an imprint. You have a fingerprint on the internet and they know, they know everything about you. So that's, it's not, we're here already. Okay. But where are you? Do you think your job, whatever you do now, is that safe? Is it that secure? No, it is not. History has taught us that nothing is secure. Like nothing is totally secure. You may be able to forecast maybe 2 or 3 years down the line, it's safe, but after that, it's done. So if you know it's 2, 3 years down the line, 4 or 5 years, maybe even 10 years, that something's coming down the pike for sure. Right now is the time to prepare yourself for that inevitable happenstance. Okay, so yeah, artificial intelligence. Once again, it's machines that know how to think, quote unquote, think. Now they haven't. One of the problems with artificial intelligence now is that, yes, I define it as formal reasoning, right? Mechanical reasoning. It has mastered that. So I don't want people to think that, hey, it's going to be able to take my spouse from me, but they have today. They have so many simulations today. I mean, it's so realistic, right? Especially online or in the cyber universe. that you can immerse yourself into. You put goggles on and you're in a whole nother world dealing with computer generated images that look so real. It's like almost like a real person. And if someone's not careful, they have an addictive personality. They can actually get addicted to that and actually not want to be in the real world with their real family or real relationships because they're getting everything they want, instant gratification in the cyber universe. So that's going to present a whole set of problems for I foresee that the psychiatrists and people like that will never go out of business just because of just because of things like this. So maybe you want to look into being that, because I can foresee so many addictions happening and all that behind this stuff. But yeah, it's getting pretty wild out there, and but the more you research and study this stuff, you see that there's a lot of benefits coming out of it, especially for companies, right? Especially for companies that want to increase their bottom line, right? A robot is not going to take the day off, right? It's not going to complain. It's not going to form a union to sue you or fight for higher wages. No. So in the eyes of somebody like some of these big tech companies or any company that sees the benefits of this, they'll be like, yeah, boom. But guess who's going to lose out? Guys who do not, or guys and gals that don't have skills, right? Certain skills are going to be replaced, period. Right? It's happening already. Now, in some sectors, they have robots or different forms of artificial intelligence working alongside the employees, right? We see that in factories and stuff like that, where they have the robots, working, and then you have the employees or assembly line workers or whoever working with the robots. That seems like a fair exchange, right? Nobody's necessarily getting fired, but at the end of the day, I can see the employer just licking their chops saying, what if I can get rid of that person? That means more money. My bottom line is going to shoot up 5-10% if I get rid of that department over there and just replace it with robots. It may cost me $500,000 to implement it, but over the span of 10 years, I'll make 10 million versus 3 million. It's like, so yeah, it's very attractive, and it's happening. Like I said, it's happening, guys. Okay. Guys, come on the chat. Once again, this live is sponsored by Calibrate.com. And yeah, check out Calibrate.com. Support the channel. We got some great products for you, and we would really appreciate it to keep this going here. Okay. Let's see here. So yeah, now as I did my research on artificial intelligence, I was quite surprised to find that there are actually a couple of forms of artificial intelligence that we may want to understand. So they have what's called strong AI, and AI stands for artificial intelligence, and then they have weak AI. Okay, so strong and weak. Let's understand what the strong AI is. Okay, strong AI says this is the version of AI that you see depicted in classic science fiction films like Blade Runner, in which conscious machines have become so indistinguishable from humans in appearance and behavior that they can only be sniffed out via professionally administered tests. Okay, to qualify as strong AI, also referred to as general intelligence, a machine must have all the mental capabilities that humans have, from self-awareness and free will to the capacity to learn from memories, plan for the future, solve problems with logic, and so on. Needless to say, we have yet to create such advanced versions of AI, which for now remains more of a theoretical concept than anything else. Okay, so we can say, okay, strong AI isn't really here yet, but doesn't mean it's not coming down the pike. So I referred to the movie The Matrix earlier, and I would say that's an example of strong AI. I mean, you just can't tell. It's everywhere. It's ubiquitous. It's even controlling human beings and harvesting the bodies and brains of human beings. I mean, that's kind of on the dark side, but I mean, everything has a dark side, right? Even tech, even this stuff. So if it gets out of control, you have some bad actors on the scene that want to manipulate and use it, as throughout history we always had that, right? Exploit human beings and just enslave them and do whatever to them. Who's to say that this can't happen with AI and robots and stuff like that? Who's to say that this intelligence, this artificial intelligence, cannot be exploited or created to exploit others, real human beings, right? And so, yeah, that's a possibility, right? Everything's a possibility out here. Weak AI. Let's define weak AI. What we have managed to create, however, are plenty of what's called weak AI, and that's computers or machines that are able to think and perform certain tasks, sometimes exceptionally well within a narrow band of specialization. All right, that's your average computer or something like that, or even like I work around a lot of welding equipment and machine shops and stuff like that. And you can actually program, like in a machine shop, anybody who's a machinist knows that you can program a machine to cut metal or in any shape or form that you desire. Think about what's out there now, 3D printing. That's a form of, I would say, weak AI. You just program it and give it some commands, some codes, and it can create just about anything today. Okay, so those are forms of weak AI. So they can perform certain tasks, like I said, exceptionally well within a narrow band of specialization. To the extent that AI can be said to exist today, this is the category into which all current iterations fall. Okay, so we're in the world of weak AI right now, bordering, I think, on strong AI. I guarantee you there's somebody somewhere in the world figuring out a way to, or if they haven't already, to create a cyborg or something like that, just to be, just as advanced as a human being. But of course, you cannot imbue that creation with something that we didn't imbue ourselves with, and that's the God nature, okay, if you want to call it that, or the higher, our higher nature, right? So it'll just be a very highly advanced Terminator like being or robot or something like that. So yeah, so we're in the world of weak AI now, but so we have to deal with that. And I don't want to veer off the subject matter here. I want to tie it into, like, say, the construction trades or something like that, and how what weak artificial intelligence is being implemented in those industries, right? You may even see it in your own industry. Okay. And if you do, feel free to comment in the chat about it. All right, so let's continue. Let's continue here. So let's talk about some terms, right? Just to get you familiar with artificial intelligence terms. You guys are probably familiar with one already. I mean, if you're on the internet, if you're on any kind of social media, algorithm. Okay, an algorithm is a form of AI. That's an artificial intelligence term, right? And it's kind of interesting as you are immersed in these platforms like that we're on right now, and we hear about algorithm. It's not that these things are like dropped on you. They're slowly integrated into your world, right? So when the full Monty happens, you're not shocked, right? They kind of spoon feed you until you're able to take the full course meal later, with the real robots coming in, right? Answering your door and all this other stuff and driving you home and whatever. Maybe at some point taking you out on a date and you don't even know. I personally think, and I don't want to be, like I said, I don't want to be conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but it's not just going to be robots. I think at some point, human beings themselves, the very anatomy of human beings, are going to be integrated with mechanical apparatus, right? Remember the Bionic Man and Bionic Woman? Remember those shows? Some of you guys are probably too young for that, but imagine that, right? 50% of the population having maybe a chip in their brain or something like that to enhance their cognitive abilities or even physical abilities, right? And on the darker side of that, if you're talking about warfare on the battlefield, imagine a bunch of half human, half robot people fighting on the battlefield. I mean, it can go in so many directions, but it's out there. So algorithm, that's a common AI term, artificial intelligence term. Neural networks. How many of you guys heard of that term? Neural networks. They're the building blocks, according to what I'm reading you right now, of machine learning. And I know all of us have heard about machine learning, and they're designed with the intention of mimicking the interconnected nature of the human brain. A neural network is essentially a collection of algorithms organized into multiple node layers. The sharpness and cunning of an AI is determined in large part by how complex and interconnected its neural networks are. So essentially, they're talking about mimicking the human brain, all the nuances in the human brain, trying to mimic that. And the better they get at mimicking it, the sharper the resolution that they achieve, the more realistic, right? The more realistic that these artificial intelligence or artificially intellectual creations will seem to us. They seem just as real as, I mean, it's like they another artificial intelligence platform out there now is a chat bot, right? They have this one called Chat GPT, and apparently it simulates very, very real conversations with you. I've never been on it. I just did research on it. I've heard about it. And imagine how addicting that can be, right? Somebody sitting home alone, no friends, no family, nothing going on in their lives, and all they have to do is get on a chat bot and just chat all day with a realistic, something that's so realistic they can answer any question they ask it. It's almost like another person, Imagine that. Okay, and the last term is called machine learning. Okay, it's a subset of modern AI. Machine learning is the digital process by which computers use data and algorithms to teach themselves how to think in a way that approximates human problem solving. The goal is to teach computers how to learn for themselves and eventually become co-authors of their own programming, thereby becoming more accurate at their assigned tasks over time. All right, of all the three terms I just mentioned, algorithms, neural networks, machine learning, that pretty much encompasses like what we know of as the average human being. Problem solving being the biggest one of those. I mean, neural networks, right? Because we know that the human brain actually can map out its own neural networks depending on what type of stimuli it's getting from its environment and all that. So they got all the bases covered, man. They got all the bases covered to create something to take your job away. Okay, and it can seem scary, but it can also seem liberating, depending on which side of the coin that you're on. Okay, but I mean, me personally, I think it's definitely quite an advancement to, and I would say that they've been on this train since, I don't know, probably since a century ago. Who knows, right? At least in our civilization, they've been on this train, and it's just and it's no surprise that this is happening. Man has desired to be the creator, right? Be the ultimate creator and mimic himself. Think about eugenics, right? I think eugenics has to do with, you know, breeding offspring that you desire. I mean, you can choose the genes. You want your baby to be tall or short. You can choose eye color. You can choose all this and that. And this is just another form of it, except having to do with machines. I know it's probably more geared towards making money and business and all that stuff, but it's just a reflection of man's desire to be, be a god, I should say, small g. And so it's coming to fruition right now. Oh, guys, so tell me, any thoughts on this? Any thoughts on artificial intelligence? Come on in the chat, say hi. We're not gonna bite. Got Paragraph Life Notes in here, and whoever else is watching, come on in, say hi, and contribute to the chat. Tell us what you think about it, because this is very real, and this is what's going on out here. Okay, let's see here now. because this channel is about the trades, DIY tools, and all that, I decided, I figured I'd do some research on how artificial intelligence is affecting certain industries. Say, for instance, the construction industry, and indeed it is. Okay, so they do have construction robots out there. Okay, you may not have seen them on your job site. It doesn't mean they're not out there, and you may be even using some of the forms of artificial intelligence on your person. So they have wearable technology. They have things that are behind the scenes, data analytics, um, um, tracking, tool tracking technology, and what they call the Internet of Things. Remember that term, the Internet of Things? That was a precursor to what I'm talking about right now. So um, let's see. As far as construction robots, I wish I got to pull up a video for you guys. But they do have them out there, guys, and they don't necessarily have to have two arms and two legs and a head. They can be in the form of machines that are manless, like even excavators or something like that. It can be um, you know somebody in another building manning the machine, and while the machine's on the field, that person probably maybe even could be in another state. I don't know. It could, depends. um, and they have arms. Even in the field of welding. I've been a welding instructor for a little while now, and they do have welding robots that can weld fast and perfectly. Okay, so they're out there now, and who knows what other field where robots are going to replace in terms of construction and trades. I even read up on a machine that can install drywall. Imagine that, a robot that can install drywall. I mean, that's you drywallers out there. I mean, you got to look over your shoulder. That guy behind me, he's gonna be, he might take your job. So you might want to you might want to up your skills. Okay, so time will tell, guys. Time will tell if this stuff takes over, like a lot of people predict. I mean, a lot of people predicted that crypto would take over. Crypto is still here, but I mean, it's so volatile, and who knows what economic factors are going to affect the AI revolution, right? The AI revolution, because nothing's in a vacuum. And something's always affected, and can either speed it up or slow it down or cut it out completely, or have it take over completely. So we saw that with the internet. But some things are unstoppable. I think artificial intelligence is one of those unstoppable trains. Like I said, it's here already. If you're on Google, you're using algorithms, you're on social media, whatever, these platforms, all a form of artificial intelligence that you're on right now. Okay. Let's see. What else they have? I mentioned wearable technology. Okay. They have glasses. I think it was Google that came out with those glasses. Was it Google or somebody or Apple that came out with the glasses that can tell you things on the screen while you're looking through the glasses? That's a form of wearable tech, right? They even have the technology that you can wear, and it can enhance your exoskeleton, and you're able to lift things that you would not normally be able to lift, very, very heavy objects. Um, these are all precursors of what I'm talking about here that will eventually replace the actual human being, right? But of course, there are going to be riots in the streets, revolutions and stuff before all that happens. Maybe a war between the robots and the humans, or the robots and the cyborgs. And the cyborgs will, some of them will who still have their humanity, will take the side of the humans, and some of them will go on the side of robots. They probably made a movie like that already, right? Okay, so another something else in the construction industry concerning artificial intelligence is something called BIM, and that stands for Building Information Modeling. And it's a digital design tool that enables users to create multidimensional, interactive 3D models of structures during every stage of a construction project's life cycle. Okay, so yeah, they already have 3D modeling out there already. But imagine, having a model of the whole construction site and foreseeing what needs, supplies that you need. I mean, all that stuff, right? All that stuff in a artificially intelligent unit, right? That you don't have to predict anything. It's there. You don't have to do the research. It can even map it out. It can even map everything out for you, right off the bat. And experiments are being done with these companies on this stuff, right? Because once again, it improves the efficiency, it increases the bottom line, and all that stuff. Having these systems in place, and it's going at light speed right now. Those of you in the data analytics field, right? It says construction is a data rich business, right? You're talking about schedules, payroll, safety plans, surveys, inventory, supply chain, logistics. All that stuff is data that needs to be sifted and needs to be, put in the right place. And you have, I guess before people had to do it, now you have robots doing that. Imagine how faster those things will get done, how faster a project will be completed, on to the next, right? I mean, for these companies, is pretty much a no-win. I mean, it's a win-win, I should say. It's a win-win situation for them. Okay, all they need is the initial investment, whatever that costs. I don't know how much stuff this costs, but as we see today, I mean, people with the big pockets, they don't care, right? Because they're looking down the line. They're thinking long term, and if you have to make that initial investment, well, go ahead. All right, let's see here. Very good. Life notes. Yes, no choice but to adapt. Absolutely, Paragraph Life notes. No choice but to adapt. If you don't adapt, you will be adapted. Bookkeepers no longer use paper, only data entry. Now they don't have to calculate. There you go. There you go. I think on the list of jobs that artificial intelligence will replace, Paragraph Life notes, one of them is actually bookkeeping. Okay. I don't know about the more advanced stages of accounting. Probably there are nuances that I hate to say. I'm sure those can be replaced as well, right? Just think about it. I just mentioned they're developing the problem-solving capacities of these artificially intelligent units to be just like human beings. I mean, so once they get that problem-solving hurdle, they're over that hurdle. It's game over with that. Okay, so hey. All the sit behind your desk jobs where you're crunching numbers and stuff like that, hey, they can be on the chopping block as well. Do you have to understand the number? Just key it in. Okay. Do have to understand the number, just key it in. Assembly line for vehicles and food. Yes. I mean, that's a no-brainer right there. Yeah. It's been around for a while. I think it's getting to the more advanced stages now, though, right? When everybody's talking about it and it starts to become part of the general conversation of the average, and I don't mean average in terms of someone's worth, but the general population is talking about this stuff, then you know that it's becoming more ubiquitous. It's becoming more, widely known and more because it's being implemented in more places, right? Think about that vacuum cleaner that you just can put on the floor and roll around and it vacuums the floor for you. That's a form of artificial intelligence. Even on an elementary scale, it can sense the environment. It can read the environment, whether it's through contact with another object or reading the environment. It can go around and vacuum for you, right? I mean, hey, driverless cars, they probably have planes out there now that are pilotless planes and stuff like that. So yeah, technology is something else, guys. It's increasing and you have to prepare yourself. This is what I suggest. I suggest you do the research for yourself. I suggest not only do the research, but maybe take a course or something in this stuff so you can prepare yourself, prepare your kids. If you're a young person, and you're smart enough, intelligent enough. You don't have your head in the clouds, partying and all that, and you can see what's coming down the pike, and you want to be in the next 10 years or so, you want to be in a good position. See what's coming down the pike. See what's the smart people. They're the ones that took computer science and all this stuff when they were kids. And I know everybody's not into that, but they're the ones that prepared themselves for whatever field they're in ahead of time, right? They started doing the research. They started learning. They started doing, and that's what I suggest to anybody right now, is to see what's coming down the pike and prepare yourself. Okay, maybe you can be the one of the guys that or girls that fixes these robots. Somebody's going to have to repair them, right? And if they can't repair themselves, right? So somebody's going to have to maintain them. Somebody's going to have to maintain the systems, and all of that. So why not? What that can be you. That can be you. All right, and I'm sure you get paid a hefty sum to be able to do things like that. Okay, think about what's big right now: cybersecurity. Yeah, you have artificial intelligence, but I'm pretty sure they can catch viruses just like you can catch a cold. I mean, how many of us caught a virus on our computer? So I'm sure that they can be hacked, or they can, catch some kind of virus or something like that, and go haywire. God forbid that they become like the version of Freddy Krueger or something like that, or Friday the 13th. That would be crazy. But yeah, they're gonna need maintenance. Okay, they're gonna need some TLC. Okay, so I'm sure those of you that pursue a career in that, whatever that's called, artificial intelligence maintenance, or robotic maintenance, or whatever, you be paid pretty well to do that. Okay, so yeah, get yourself prepared. All right, guys, I figured I'll just drop that on you today. Appreciate you guys coming in and at least hearing me out and seeing what's on the horizon. Appreciate you, Paragirl Life Notes, coming in and sticking around, contributing to the chat. It's always great. And you guys, don't forget, check out calibrate.com. It's a great way to support the channel. And I appreciate every one of you. And you guys, take care. See you next time.